In April of 2009, the McMaster Institute for Transportation and Logistics, also known as MITL, released a report entitled A Sustainable Strategy for Developing Hamilton as a Gateway. The MITL report followed the Places to Grow document produced by the Ontario government that forecasts substantial growth for Hamilton over the next quarter century. The MITL plan considered plausible employment growth scenarios for transportation-focused developments in key strategic areas of the city, such as the airport and Portlands. As part of the plan, it tried to contain any negative impacts of this projected economic growth through measures such as elimination of further urban sprawl, improved public transit links, and a focus on urban residential intensification. The purpose of this presentation is to highlight some of the key findings from the MITL report, to paint a picture of what a gateway is, and to show how Hamilton can evolve into a highly successful gateway city. To begin, it is useful to get a global perspective on goods movement before concentrating on the concept of the gateway city. Consider the movement of imported goods into North America. European trade typically arrives on the East Coast before being dispersed to its final North American destinations. Asian goods arrive either by air or sea on the West Coast, or through the Panama Canal to ports on the eastern seaboard. Road and rail modes are generally used to move goods to the interior. Montreal, one of the busiest ports in North America, receives goods that are then transported to Canadian and American markets through the Quebec-Ontario corridor. The St. Lawrence Seaway is a prominent component of this corridor. The Greater Golden Horseshoe region, part of the Quebec-Ontario corridor, is the fourth most densely populated area in North America and is Canada's largest market by far. This region produces a value of goods and services of over $500 billion each year. Hamilton is one of the anchors of the Greater Golden Horseshoe and is strategically located for trade that flows within this region, as well as trade between Canada and its NAFTA partners. In 2008, $600 billion of goods flowed across the borders to the United States, 57% of which entered the United States through the three main southern Ontario crossings, Buffalo, Detroit, and Port Huron. North America's economy relies heavily on the efficient movement of goods. Multiple modes of transportation and well-organized connections between them enhance the ability to move goods in a cost-effective manner. Well-situated cities that provide these interconnections between modes of transport thrive. Such cities provide extensive employment in the transportation sector, but more importantly, they attract new jobs and investment because prospective firms know that raw materials or goods for market can be efficiently moved in and out. Such cities are known as gateways. Gateway cities range in size from vast interconnected metropolitan areas, such as New York, to smaller gateways, such as Huntsville, Alabama, Portland, Oregon, and Columbus, Ohio. Despite their smaller size, these gateway cities play integral roles in the movement of goods because they have well-developed interconnections between modes of transport. Understanding how Portland and Columbus became vibrant gateway cities can help Hamilton undergo a similar transformation. In the 1990s, Portland made strategic decisions to improve its intermodal connections and also to develop itself as a green city. These changes were needed to compete successfully against other major West Coast ports for jobs and for moving goods. Initially, Portland maximized its intermodal connections through the strategic positioning of business parks, the development of its airports with ties to the nearby port terminals, and the enhancement of the connections of rail lines and road networks throughout the area. In tandem, Portland promoted initiatives to improve the quality of life for residents. The city developed a comprehensive rapid transit system and restricted private vehicle movements within the city core to encourage transit use. Portland is now considered one of the greenest cities in North America and has become the most desirable location for 20 to 39-year-olds. With its infrastructure enhancements, good workforce, and excellent quality of life, Portland has attracted major investments from Intel, Toyota, and other companies. In 2000, Columbus, Ohio was ranked 57th in American cities in terms of the tonnage of goods transported per year, but by 2009, its ranking had improved to 31st. This was accomplished through an organized set of initiatives that included the establishment of the Central Ohio Logistics Alliance to advocate for transportation issues and to promote the area's advantages, the expansion of the Rickenbacker Cargo Airport to facilitate movements of larger quantities of goods, and the building of an intermodal facility in partnership with the Norfolk Southern Railroad to improve the Heartland Corridor, which runs from the Port of Norfolk, Virginia, through to Columbus. The Heartland Corridor now handles double-stacked containers that arrive on the east coast of the United States from around the world. Columbus is well situated in the United States Midwest and is developing as a major gateway for its region and beyond. With its strategic location in the Golden Horseshoe and its current infrastructure, Hamilton has many of the essential ingredients and the framework for a successful gateway. At present, mainly bulk goods originating in the east or west arrive in Hamilton's harbor via the Great Lakes or St. Lawrence Seaway. On a yearly basis, 12 million tons of cargo are processed through the Port of Hamilton. Currently, 72% of that is related to the steel industry. Hamilton's airport is a 24/7 operating facility with the capacity to manage large amounts of cargo. It annually handles about 660,000 tons of light goods, such as clothing or electronic and perishable goods. Major rail lines directly intersect with the Port of Hamilton and connect Hamilton to the Greater Toronto Area, as well as Buffalo and Detroit. On average, 2,500 trains cross the Buffalo border each year. Currently, the 400 series of highways, in combination with the Red Hill Valley Parkway and the Lincoln-Alexander Expressway, facilitate the easy movement of truck traffic from Canada to the U.S. and back again. Between 800,000 and 1 million trucks cross the border at Niagara and Buffalo each year. The integrated network of roads in and surrounding Hamilton was achieved through major expansions and improvements over the last 2 decades. Reducing road congestion is good for the flow of goods and also for minimizing emissions. The extension of Highway 403 from Hamilton to the 401 at Woodstock, Ontario, was completed in 1997. This was a major improvement in the ability to move goods to and from the west while linking to Niagara or the Greater Toronto Area. The QEW has evolved significantly to the benefit of Hamilton and the surrounding area. The capacity of the Skyway Bridge was doubled to 8 lanes as of 1987. More recently, there have been significant capital investments to speed the flow of traffic through the Burlington, Oakville, and Niagara-St. Catharines stretches of this major thoroughfare. Highway 6 North, between the 403 and the 401, was transformed into a 4-lane highway with a center turn lane. A freeway-like enhancement on Highway 6 North from Highway 5 to the 403 has led to enhanced safety and access from Hamilton to the 401. A bypass of Morriston, Ontario near the 401 interchange would further improve Highway 6. In general, all measures to facilitate efficient road linkages between Kitchener-Waterloo and Hamilton ought to be explored. Meanwhile, as of 2004, Highway 6 South has undergone significant improvements, which now have it linking directly to Highway 403 and the Hamilton International Airport. Localized freeway improvements to accommodate Hamilton's growth have been no less significant. The 403 is now connected to the QEW via Hamilton Mountain because of the completion of the Lincoln-Alexander Expressway in 1997 and the Red Hill Valley Parkway in 2007. Overall, the current network of roads and highways permits good accessibility between all areas of Hamilton and the surrounding region. Not surprisingly, businesses are looking to Hamilton for development opportunities because they recognize its gateway advantages in terms of location, a relatively uncongested road network, and strong current infrastructure. Extensive freeways and the availability of good business land with accessibility to these roads enticed Canada Bread to choose Hamilton for the location of its state-of-the-art bakery. Canada Bread was attracted by a skilled local labor force and an anticipated capability to receive supplies and distribute products to the Greater Golden Horseshoe region in a cost-efficient manner. Its 374,000 square foot bakery will bring more than 350 permanent jobs and additional seasonal employment when it opens in 2011. From 1997 to 2007, the City of Hamilton's Transportation Committee developed policies and strategies to attract new business. In particular, the Hamilton Master Transportation Plan identified grids, nodes, and corridors essential for developing Hamilton's business parks. In 2008, Phase 5 of Ancaster's business park was completed, providing 35 acres of usable land for business expansion, and by 2009, this phase of the business park was sold out. In part because of its easy access to Highway 403 and its ready ability to reach markets from this location, Tim Hortons opened a $30 million processing plant in the Ancaster Business Park in 2009. In 2010, McAsphalt Industries, Canada's largest maker of asphalt, decided to relocate their Toronto business to Hamilton. Previously situated near the Port of Toronto, McAsphalt chose Pier 24 in Hamilton's port as its home for a $30 million processing and shipping facility that will conduct some processing work and act as a shipping point. Once completed, this facility will provide 35 new jobs. One of the major attractions of the Port of Hamilton was its ability to accommodate two 150-meter barges concurrently. McAsphalt Industries was also drawn to Hamilton because of its ability to act as a transportation hub, linking air, road, rail, and marine modes. One of the things that makes a great hockey player is his ability to make the players around him better. In much the same way, a gateway city such as Hamilton can improve the fortunes of other communities. One current example is the movement of Amazon Kindles, electronic book readers, to local customers. Within 24 hours, these are shipped from Seattle, Washington to Hamilton International Airport via Louisville, Kentucky. The Kindles are then moved by truck to the Brantford UPS Distribution Center before being shipped to Golden Horseshoe customers. In this real-life example, Hamilton is acting as a goods movement gateway and, in the process, is supporting jobs in Brantford. So how can Hamilton improve as a gateway? One key initiative is the development of an intermodal terminal to allow for the efficient, cost-effective movement of goods from one mode of transport to another. Placing this facility in Hamilton's port is ideal, as it will facilitate the easy movement of goods between trucking, rail, and short sea shipping. Direct road access from the intermodal facility onto the Red Hill Valley Parkway and its connection to the Lincoln-Alexander Expressway could also facilitate the transportation of goods from these modes to the airport for distribution elsewhere. An intermodal terminal in the port area will help to expand short sea shipping. Since more than 90% of non-bulk international trade is shipped in containers, part of the plan for the intermodal terminal must include the enhancement of containerization capability. Growing short sea shipping from 1 to 5% of the market share of goods, and using the new terminal to switch goods between the different modes of transport will help to offset emissions increases that Hamilton might experience as it grows. Recently, the City of Hamilton approved rezoning of the 800 square hectares of land surrounding the John C. Munro International Airport for industrial development. Greenfield industrial land for expansion is a critical competitive advantage. This Airport Employment Growth District is an ideal location for manufacturing, storage, and distribution firms, among other types. Not only does this land permit easy access to the airport for goods shipped by air, it also has good road connections to the Port of Hamilton, the Greater Golden Horseshoe, and American border crossings. Currently, the plan is to prudently develop this area in phases. For some perspective on airport growth districts, consider a nearby example. From 1995 to 2007, there was a 45.3% increase in land development in the compact area west of Lester B. Pearson Airport in Toronto. A tabulation of businesses within this area around Pearson Airport revealed a diversified industrial ecosystem. A total of 960 distinct firm types and 3,092 firms, which provide a wide range of goods and services, are represented in this compact area. This bar chart shows a more aggregated breakdown across the primary sectors. Note that residential development is prohibited in this zone to allow for the land's highest and best use. It will take time and commitment to develop the AEGD. Initially, Hamilton can focus on enticing wholesale and industrial businesses. To achieve the desired gateway effects, it also needs to attract freight forwarders, distributors, and trucking companies to promote the easy movement of goods in and out of the immediate area, and to capitalize on Hamilton's unique assets. Gateways are not just about goods movement. Accessibility to work, cultural, and recreational activities are all factors that will attract and sustain a talented labor force. Hamilton must adopt a well-thought-out urban plan that provides a sufficient amount of well-located, desirable housing to meet the needs of an increasing population. Urban planning needs to focus on increasing population and commercial densities within the city's core by maximizing spaces to live, work, and play. This can be achieved by building on pockets of undeveloped land throughout Hamilton's core and by remediating brownfields. The development of neighborhoods that contain a variety of housing options, similar to the award-winning Oak Park area in Oakville, Ontario, is one prototype that would allow for greater urban intensification. In a 2010 Canadian Urban Institute report, Hamilton's major stakeholders rated the development of a light rapid transit as the top local infrastructure initiative for the coming decade. A T-shaped LRT from McMaster University to Eastgate Square and from Hamilton's waterfront to Hamilton's airport should be developed in tandem with the AEGD. This T-shaped LRT system will link the downtown core, slated for residential expansion, to the business park built on AEGD land. Such an approach will improve commuter accessibility by transit while reducing traffic congestion and the associated emissions. Construction of the T-shaped LRT will also attract residential development along its routes, drawing commercial businesses to these areas and adding to the degree of urban intensification. To become a strong gateway city, Hamilton must also attract and nurture innovative, vibrant young professionals and entrepreneurs. Hamilton is already home to a number of prominent post-secondary institutions. These include McMaster University, Mohawk College, and Redeemer College. Improving the desirability of the city through urban intensification initiatives and development of a T-shaped LRT will help to keep graduates from leaving for opportunities elsewhere, and will also assist in other ways such as attracting more investment. Favorable outcomes, like those seen in Portland, have set a precedent to be emulated. Hamilton has the potential to become a premier gateway city that thinks globally but acts locally. Accordingly, MITL has proposed an organization called TransHub to oversee the implementation of the Sustainable Gateway Strategy. In addition to attracting new investment and marketing Hamilton and surrounding area as a gateway, this organization will advocate for appropriate infrastructure needs. It will also promote collaboration and consensus among stakeholders. Richard Coruscant, President and CEO of Hamilton International Airport and Chair of the Hamilton Chamber of Commerce, is a strong advocate for the development of Hamilton as a major Canadian gateway. He notes, "The economic impact of the gateway concept is much bigger than I thought. Transportation and the movement of goods is an economic enabler. It provides a service that all businesses need. It's not just about the port or the airport. Each one of them is a driver on their own, but when you start looking at them as an integrated intermodal system, it is like a multiplier effect. Most communities would kill to have what we have here."